Welcome to our midterm client update presentation. Before you is Team Courage Corporation, comprising of Javid and Oldiliema Assistant Team Lead, Lagatobade, our Network Administrator, Sajida Katuna, our Quality Assurance Analyst, and our Able System Administrator, Kanlaleting. So I'll take you through the topic of the day. So on our agenda, we'll tackle the problem statement, the potential solution that we have for GBS. So also the layout of how the network diagram will be deployed, the network devices and services we're proposing for GBS, the Windows Server 2008 as an appropriate vendor, Microsoft Exchange, its roles, features, and how it will function at GBS. And then on operating systems, we identified Microsoft 2016. So we're going to look at it with its features and roles and how it will function. Also on Microsoft SharePoint as a operating system, and lastly we're going to review our work plan and our learning issues. So I'd like to call upon my colleague Arnold to take us through on the problem statements.
Okay, thank you very much for the warm welcome. I'm Arnold Sangiama. I'll be going to take you through the problem statement. Okay. JBS Corporation is facing a problem. It has numerous weaknesses within the organization information systems. Again, it's supposed to comply with the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in 2012. So, what the company needs is to evaluate its technology infrastructure to ensure that its CIA of the information system is good. Again, it's supposed to deploy technologies that will enhance effective security across the company. That its information systems should be the ones that allow easy sharing of resources within its management. The last one is that the systems that should exist in the company should comply with the act mentioned earlier, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, made in 2002. Please go to the next slide. So, for us as a company, we are going to provide a possible solution for all this. And we have our main objective to research on proprietary technology, vendor products, and their prominent features, roles, to their functions, configurations, and how they will be deployed in the company. We shall also come up with a plan report that will enable the company to deploy the right technology and infrastructure that will ensure CIA is achieved in the systems. We also identify products that will enhance security of moving information across the offices. And lastly, with the product that will have an easy sharing in the company. I would like to welcome my friend to continue from there.
So on the network diagram, we were proposing this is just a layout of how the network will be at GBS. So we are proposing to have several PCs, remote PCs. The remote PCs will be the locations, and then the host PC will be the headquarters at GBS. Also, we're proposing to have application server. This application server will be placed at the main office, which is GBS headquarters. So it will serve some purposes, which we are going to mention in the next slides. Also, we are proposing to have a firewall of VPN router. This one is for security purposes, to secure the connection between these different networks. Also, we are proposing to have a router. This router will be used for routing purposes. It will connect the different locations to the internet for routing purposes. And also we are proposing to have some switches. These switches will be placed at several at the locations and also the main office. These ones are for switching purposes. So that's the layout. And on the network devices, we were proposing to have a VPN router and a firewall. This one, as I've said earlier, is for securing the connection, or is for securing the connection at the offices. Also, we're proposing to have 4 switches at every office with 16 ports. Also, the ISP provider and cable connections for every PCs in the offices. So these were to be placed at system manager's room, and all the cables were to be switched, connected to the switches with the firewall. And the VPN route and firewall, as I said, is for network connection and for security purposes. Also, we were proposing to have a RJ45 as a connection agent to connect all these appliances, and also Cat6 for cable connection. Arnold, take us through the services.
Okay, thank you for the warm welcome. I'll take you to the services. As earlier said, we are going to offer our services. So first of all, we are going to provide a VPN. VPN means virtual private networks, which is a secure technology with encrypted connections. So this will work well for GPS, because right now they are facing a problem with security in their company. So we also put a DNS. The DNS itself will help identify all the devices accessing the network. So this means that the network will be even more secure, because we have DNS identifying each and every device accessing the network. We have DHCP. With this, it helps assign the IP addresses to the hosts in the network pool. This will help eliminate the possibility of conflicting IP addresses. We have HTTPS, and with this, it will help provide access to the web applications. With this, when you move to a browser, most of the time you find HTTPS, // and all that. So this will help you access all the web applications. Next, we have FTP, that's File Transfer Protocol. With this, it will make sharing of files smoother within all the various branches in the company. So lastly, we have mail. Mail is a common thing that you and I use each and every day, obviously for communication. We will use this for communication within the company. So would you please, okay. So with that said, we are going to look at the features of Windows Server 2008. First of all, we have remote desktop services. With this, we have a Windows Server which can support Aero class interface, multiple monitors, and DirectX 11, 10, and 9. So the next one is support of 256 cores. With this, this is an improvement. The earlier version only support 64 cores. We have Hyper-V, which is Hyper-V itself is the latest version. So with this, is able to address up to 32 cores per virtual machine. They also use TCP to offload Jugo frames and to provide improved network performance. They have live migration, which improves virtual machine availability and letting you move hyper virtual machines between hosts with no downtime. We have remote server management. This basically provides a centralized and useful console for managing Windows Server 2008 systems. And lastly, we have this Windows Server 2008 having support for .NET frameworks. the server grow. We have also, lastly, support for biometrics. For us Kenyans, we are using this in our Electoral and Boundaries Commission to identify the voters, but for GPS it will be used to identify the employees using with the support of fingerprints, DNA, face recognition, and many others. I'd like to welcome my friend to continue from that point.
So I'll talk on authentication. So as authentication is just identifying someone or something to authenticate. So also we have terms like authorization in authentication. So authorization is just to allow access of the network resources such as files, printers, and many other things. So on Windows Server 2008, it has these capabilities to enhance security that will provide GBS authentication and authorization services to help in GBS services, login services. It also has a method for applications to authenticate users by providing security support provider interface, which abstract calls for authentication protocols. Also, it allows users to key in their credentials, their username, passwords. Also, it provides information directly from the login screen to winlog.extension. So this winlog.extension, it interacts with LSA and communicates with a remote authentication source such as domain controller and the protocol layer within the LS architecture. So this, I think, where it will enable to have more secure logging into the services across. Also, I'll talk on Microsoft Exchange Server and its features and roles. So on Microsoft Exchange Server, it has features like protection and compliance. So with this new Microsoft Exchange, it has integrated many things like email, which protects the company communication, and it's central manage the information. So it will block emails and messages from reaching other sources. So it will be within the company. Also, it allows administration functionality in that it allows remotely connection of servers, so you can access the network at your home place, so you can access it remotely. Also, it has Exchange Server deployment assistance and transport routing functionality. Also, it has mailbox and recipient functionality, which allows users to share information and move mailboxes to end users. Also, it has permission functions, which it allows permissions to the administrators and users, and also has a high availability functionality. And lastly, you can access it anywhere, so it allows virtual access to services across. Arnold, take us through the roles.
Okay, thank you. The mailbox server. For the mailbox server, this server hosts mailboxes and public folders. We have client access server. With this, it hosts client protocols such as Post Office Protocol, which is normally known as POP3, Internet Message Access Protocol 4, Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol, Outlook, and so many others. We also have Unified Messaging Server, Hub Transport Server,